The next thing I've done, as I said, I've used a piece of angle iron and I've drawn the lines down. Basically I've drawn 3 lines. So there's one, the centre line, where all the holes are going to be drilled, and then the other 2 lines are the outer markings for where the slots are going to be. So basically the slot shouldn't go outside of that line there on those 2 lines. Now I've done this all the way around, as it's 112 millimeters circumference. You can split this up quite easily into 30 millimeter divisions all the way around. So I've marked all the points. The way I actually did it was, you look here, I've already started drilling the holes. The way I actually did it was I marked all the points along on the top run where the holes were going to have to be drilled on the outer edges of the holes, the slots I should say. Now I basically marked the outer points of the slots, and then I subtracted, I think it was 8 millimeters off, and I've center punched these points. And what you can do is you can get a piece of tubing which will slide over this pipe, and you can use that to draw a line round which intersects with all the other lines. But the way I've done it is cheap and cheerful method. I just wrapped a wide tape measure around it and projected the points round, and I used a marker pen to mark off all the points. It's a bit of a lazy way of doing it, but I've done it before, and in general it works out okay. So as I said, I've center punched all the points, and then I've drilled them with about a 3mm pilot drill. Do it with a pilot drill, and then move up to, I've used an 8mm drill. So basically, if it starts wandering off, you can always correct it with a round rat tail file to try and get it back into position before you use the next size drill bit. Now I've still got a few decisions to make as to how I'm eventually going to shape this. As you know, the PPSH is slightly squared off. So one way would be to just put it in the jaws of the vise after the holes have been cut, I think, and squeeze it on 2 sides, and then rotate it over and squeeze it on the other plane, top to bottom. Now that might work. In fact, I might test that out on a piece of scrap piping before I actually try on this. Now another option would be, something I've been considering, actually before I actually drill out all these holes and make them into large slots, what I could do is I could just leave them in 8mm holes. Then I could get 2 pieces of heavy angle iron. I just happen to have some up here. See, just there. Now basically, if I cut 2 pieces of that and drilled holes in them on both planes, so I'd have a piece of angle iron on two sides. Let's see, I'd have a piece of angle iron like on 2 sides there, and another piece of angle iron from underneath on the other 2 sides. And by putting bolts all the way through the angle iron in both directions, and then putting nuts and so on the other sides, you could compress the whole thing evenly and squash it into a square shape, like a vise. But instead of the vise only squashing it from on two planes, the angle iron would squash it in two directions, vertically and horizontal. Yeah, so anyway, you can leave some comments on the video and let me know what you think of that.